Hello, good morning, everyone. I'm Paul Cooney, CEO of the Kiltwalk with Arnold Clark and the Royal Bank of Scotland. Absolutely delighted to be here with you on Arnold Clark Facebook Live. For the next half hour or so, we're going to find out about the fundraising that you and your supporters and your charities all over Scotland did despite the pandemic in this 2020. What a year it's been. You know, I was just thinking we were in this room here at Arnold Clark HQ in January when many of you were here from Charities and we were talking and all our plans for this year. And already we had over 10,000 people signed up for Glasgow, Aberdeen was flying, and Dundee and Edinburgh was building as well for later in the year. And in this room, Sir Tom Hunter surprised us all by saying, I'm not going to give you 40% this year, but it was 50%. And all our marketing was ready saying, oh, it's going to be 40% on top of everything, but it changed to 50%. We thought that was the big surprise, but of course, COVID-19 has affected every single one of us. And that's why we're here on the last day of September, looking back in a year where we didn't get to walk together. Not once, we didn't do any of them together. But over 16,000 people did go out to raise on Kiltwalks this year. They might have been hopping, they might have been dancing, Highland dancing, whatever you did, although most of you walked, for the charities that you care about. And 970 charities have been helped and are being helped. The money has been going out over the last few days from the Edinburgh Virtual, last weekend, the big virtual. So, you, the walkers, raised £2.5 million, and Tom didn't give the 50%, he doubled it, 100%. So £5 million for 907 charities. So in the next 25 minutes, we just want to share the most important thing. How is this money making a difference at a time when it's needed more than ever? And I'm delighted we'll be joining some of the charities, just a few of them, to find out how the money is working. And also, and here at Arnold Clark, and our sponsors always delight us, we're giving away a car to somebody. We have some people here who did the Kiltwalk and who were fundraising, and one of them is going to go away with a brand new BMW 1 Series. It's phenomenal. So shall we start? Shall we meet some of the charities, the most important thing, helping people across Scotland? And I'm happy to say now we're going to link up. We're going to Lochgelly and Fife in a moment. We'll meet Jeanette Miller from Who Cares Scotland. But first, around the Glasgow area is Gavin Sinclair from Who Cares Scotland. Gavin, good morning, and tell us about the work of Who Cares Scotland.
Good morning, Paul. It's a delight to be here, although I'm a bit disappointed I'm not in the Arnold Clark office collecting a BMW, but hey-ho. Thanks very much for having us on, Paul. We've always taken part in the Kiltwalk, have done for the last few years now, and this year was different, but no different because we obviously put a team out. And I'm joined here by Jeanette Miller. Jeanette's one of our fundraising volunteers, but Jeanette's actually also supported by the charity. Who Cares Scotland works with and supports children, young people and adults who have experienced care. And Jeanette has care experience herself. So probably to explain a wee bit about the charity and what it means to her, it would be good to go to Jeanette because she is supported by the charity, but also gives back to the charity by fundraising for us. So probably better to hear from her.
Jeanette, good morning. Thanks for joining us on the Arnold Clark Facebook Live.
Good morning.
Jeanette, what's your story? You were helped by Who Cares Scotland and you're helping, giving something back.
Yeah, so Who Cares are an independent charity who offer advocacy to children and young people. They also offer participation groups to the children, the care experienced children and young people, we also host events such as the Carely, Time to Shine, Christmas dinner, but unfortunately due to COVID these events have all been cancelled. So the work we're doing to support our care experienced children and young people is we have a advice service which is done by telephone, and there's always somebody there to offer our care experience members advice on whatever issue they have and signposting them to other organisations if that's required.
And Jeanette, you've been helping with the fundraising as well, helping to organise it.
So I've been quite active on social media, try to encourage people to sign up to the Kiltwalk, and basically share my side of the story to encourage them, because like the Kiltwalk means a lot, because it brings a sense of belonging and it brings us together as a community.
Well, we love the work that you're doing for Who Cares Scotland. Gavin, overall in this crazy year, how did you do with Kiltwalk this year then, plus the top-up?
Well, we raised, including the top-up, we raised just over 30,000. I think it was about £32,000, which was terrific. You know, all charities are struggling this year to bring in funds, especially from events. And when we moved to when Kiltwalk moved to the virtual Kiltwalk opportunity, then we were delighted to get involved in that, because that's money we wouldn't have had otherwise. And we're really, really chuffed and delighted with the response that we got.
And isn't it wonderful to see a colleague, Jeanette, coming on and being helped and helping Who Cares Scotland? That's what the ethos is of your organisation.
Yeah, absolutely. We put our Care Experience members at the front of our charity. They lead our charity. They're part of our charity. You know, they make decisions for us. And the fact that Jeanette grew up needing support from us and is now giving something back is terrific. And she's not only just helped organise it and helped promote it, but she took part herself. She cycled a fair distance for us and raised a good bit of money as well. So well done to Jeanette.
Jeanette, we know you did. Thank you very much for doing it. Thank you, Gavin, for everything you do. Gavin in Glasgow and Jeanette there in Lochgelly and Fife, so from the Kingdom. We're back here, Arnold Clark live with the Kiltwalk on the weekend when we've counted up from Edinburgh and the big virtual weekend, and that was a huge amount of money. And in total, 5 million going out. It's almost all gone out. We're now finding out how the charities are going to use that money. And I'm joined now here, socially distanced at Arnold Clark. We have had the masks on all the way, is someone who's no stranger to Kiltwalk. And in fact, Caroline Spears is an inspiration to many people as well. Caroline, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Paul.
How are you coping at Caroline's Cabin, which of course is for respite for families facing the toughest of times?
Yeah, it's been an extraordinary year. Nothing that any of us ever expected, and we're not the only one at Callum's Cabin. Charities throughout the country. It's just since March we've had over 30 fundraising events. I used to say postponed, but I think I would now call them cancelled, to be honest. We're still trying to help as many families as we can. Some of our bookings at the Cabin and the Cottage, Mount Stuart House, Dumfries House, naturally have had to be cancelled, but we're continuing to help our 7 families in our Glasgow flats. We've had what we would term under the radar families come to the Cabin who time is of an essence for them, and we've helped in other ways, whether it be food supplies, mindfulness sessions, you name it. We've tried to support as many families because COVID is there, but sadly so is the diagnosis of a child with cancer. So all our families still need the support more than ever.
Well, all these other issues are not going away, and I think
they're not at all.
I think everyone is increasingly worried and concerned. It's the toughest of time. You wouldn't want to be leading the country at this time. It's not easy, but how have you managed then to help people during this year? You've had some people coming there because they're time limited.
Yeah. So the families who have been to the Cabin, to make memories are just extra special at this precise moment for them, because time is limited for these families. So these families have been, and some of the pictures that we've had. It does our heart good, because it's been so heartbreaking to see the Cabin and the Cottage empty and no families there. So it's been great to be able to welcome the emergency families back that we can. The families in the Glasgow flats, they've been full. The 7 flats have been full throughout. So naturally, the flats are for families who home is hundreds of miles away and they need to relocate to Glasgow, and that's been extra important because due to COVID, naturally they haven't been able to have friends or families come from Aberdeen, Inverness, the Highlands and Islands to visit. So our support to them has been greater and even more important than than was the case before.
So how much have you managed to raise at Kiltwalk this year? Because in fact, I've just told you a few moments ago, it's a small charity and it's raised more than any other charity this year.
Our supporters have been phenomenal, whether that be people who have... There's two wee children who emptied their piggy bank because their gran was walking. So whether it be somebody who's donated the money from their piggy bank or somebody who's made a large donation, throughout all 4 Kiltwalks, Callum's Cabin, with the help of the 100% from Sir Tom, has raised just about £150,000, which is absolutely phenomenal this year. Phenomenal. And yeah.
Amazing, yeah. And how did you feel when you heard it was going to be 76,000, doubled to 152,000? I think it is.
We couldn't speak. I couldn't speak, honestly. Our gratitude is just, I can't express in words just the difference that it will make to Callum's Cabin and to all our families that we support. And
will you keep posting? You're on the beautiful island of Bute. You and Duncan have just come over this morning on the ferry. We're doing the Instagram and your pictures in the morning. Yeah, those who haven't seen them. Yeah.
We throughout lockdown, we've been posting pictures of sunrise and sunset. I haven't done it in the month of September because September's Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. So I've been doing all I can to promote Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. But the views will carry on again.
Caroline, carry on with the great work. I know you will, and we thank you for being such an inspiration to so many people and helping so many.
Thank you, Sir Tom, and all our supporters. Thank you.
Caroline Spears from Callum's Cabin. So it's Kiltwalk Live for the charities here, live at Arnold Clark in Glasgow. Let's hear now from Sir Tom Hunter. Tom.
Hi, all you Kiltwalkers. And what a fantastic story from Caroline there. And I guess that's what the Kiltwalk's been about this year, is the folks who run these charities getting closest to the folks that we want to help. And they know exactly how to help them. And with a wee hand up, not a hand out, a wee hand up, we've all made such a big difference in Scotland this year. Over 16,000 people took part in our virtual Kiltwalks safely all over Scotland, and you raised £2.5 million, and the Hunter Foundation matched the £2.5 million. So thank you so very much for your Kiltwalk kindness. And I mean, I've got to thank a few people here today. Firstly, Arnold Clark. Big Eddie Hawthorne's going to come on in a couple of minutes. One of you Kiltwalkers who took part this year is going to win a BMW. Does it get any better? Well, the answer is yes. He's got another announcement. I won't take Eddie's thunder, but Arnold Clark, Royal Bank of Scotland, Johnson Carmichael, all our Kilties, all our Kiltwalk team, but mostly all of you who have walked, hopped, skipped, jumped, swam, bounced, whatever you did, for whoever you did it for. That was Kiltwalk kindness. So we will see you, and I promise we will see you in 2021. And until that time, take care of each other, stay safe, and thanks a million.
Thanks very much to Sir Tom Hunter. And yep, Eddie is here with us, the Chief Executive and Group Managing Director of Arnold Clark. Eddie, thanks very much for having us this morning.
Oh, you're perfectly welcome. Good morning, Paul.
Great to see you. What a year it's been, but Tom, I think, summed up a lot of it there. We'll walk again next year together, but nothing stopped the Kiltwalk this year with the amount of money raised.
No, it was a phenomenal amount of money, and all the Kiltwalk itself has meant so much to many charities this year, and Sir Tom, Marion, the foundation, they've really stepped up and helped the charities when they really need it this year.
You'll never have known anything like this. Nobody has now. The word unprecedented hasn't been used yet, but 15 minutes in it is. But how are you coping at Arnold Clark then, and the teams and customers?
Well, Paul, I would have to say that we're not immune from what's been going on around us, but you've only got 15 minutes, and I don't really want to bore your viewers with the challenges that we've had, but they have been many.
but you've managed to help us. I think the cars we get, I mean, there's so much goes on behind the scenes with our two principal sponsors, the headline Arnold Clark and Royal Bank of Scotland, the cash, the funding you give. But above that, your teams are so committed. We know it at the Kiltwalk because they can walk for whoever they care about, but the Arnold Clark team, the Arnold Clark team are always there for us.
Yeah, no, I mean, Kiltwalk is special to our staff, to our company, and it's all across Scotland, so all our branches can take part in it. So it's really something that's close to our heart, Paul, and it works for us.
And I know you're proud that many of them do every year, and they did this year as well in the virtuals. Yeah,
very proud with the virtual Kiltwalk that we had to do this year.
Yeah. And for next year, we're looking forward to it. Hopefully we will come together at some point during 2021.
Well, we're hoping this year is an exceptional year and we get back to normal next year. And I'm sure there's very many charities that want to get all the supporters out and get a wee bit of exercise. I mean, I know I need to.
How's the knee?
Oh, don't start me on my knee, Paul.
But Eddie, thanks for everything you do. I know there's something coming up later, but when we said we were doing it today, Eddie said, right, what will we talk about? And great success this year, but let's give away a car. And we were blown away. We weren't expecting it. So you're giving us another car.
I think this year, normally, Paul, what we try to do with everybody that walks in the Kiltwalk, because I mean those Sunday mornings when sometimes it's a wee bit rainy and you need that little bit of extra effort to get out and race for your charity, we always want to try and give away some cars. That hadn't happened this year, so we thought, well, what will we do? We'll give you a car. A little bit of special year, so let's make it a special car, so let's make it a BMW.
So we've got 5 people who are here who have all walked for their chosen charities. Will we find out now who the winner is?
Yes, please.
The winner it's James Donnelly from Airdrie, who's been raising money for St Andrew's Hospice. James, I see you coming forward. We can take the mask off. James, congratulations. You're getting a car from Eddie and from Arnold Clark, a brand new 1 Series BMW.
Now, James, I can't normally touch these, James, but there you go. There's the keys. Thanks very much.
Wow. James, yeah. He didn't know. I phoned him yesterday and said, James, you were one of so many people. 16,000 people got involved this year. Tell us why you were walking for St Andrew's Hospice, if you just compare that.
My friend's dad died in it, and the both of them couldn't speak highly enough of it. It's a local charity. It's on my doorstep. I'd never done anything for them in all the previous years. I'd done charity work. And when I spoke to the 2 guys and the way they spoke about the way they were treated, not their father, the way they were treated as people belonging to somebody in the hospice. And I thought to myself, do you know what? It's a place that I could probably end up in or some of my family. So that's why we done it for St Andrew's Hospice.
And you raised over £400.
I raised over 400. We've got a wee group called St Maggie's Wanderers, and we don't set out to beat each other money-wise. We put it all together, and we raised about £8,000 for it. And thanks to Sir Tom Hunter for doubling it up. What a man that is, that puts his hand in his pocket. Yeah. We put our feet on the floor and go to do the walk, but he puts his hand in his pocket. So thanks, Sir Tom Hunter.
James Donnelly, you're actually looking remarkably well, because can
I'm
I tell people
shaking.
where you were last night? Yeah, we can see. He was doing night shift. You were working on the roads in the M90.
That's right.
Yeah. And I said, do you know where this is? When we were checking with everyone where to come to. And you do know this site. You remember it's the old Macro. But you've bought a car here before.
I used to deliver out of the old Macro.
Yeah.
And I bought a car out of here a couple of years back.
Yeah. So you're going to keep fundraising then?
Every day, as long as I can walk, I'll keep doing it. So,
James, congratulations.
You've
got the car keys there from Eddie. If you stay with us, we'll see you later. But congratulations. James Donnelly there, raising that money and winning the new car. Eddie, thanks very much. And there's more from Eddie coming up later, as Tom hinted just a moment or two ago. So we're going to meet 2 more charities before we finish this morning here on Facebook Live with Arnold Clark. It's the Kiltwalk with Arnold Clark and Royal Bank of Scotland. And our gold sponsor, Johnson Carmichael too. And everybody, we couldn't do it without all our sponsors who help us along the way. So we're going now to Edinburgh. We're going to go to the capital city, and I'm delighted to speak to someone that I hadn't met until a few moments ago, virtually of course, and it's Bridie Ash Rowan, or Ash Rowan, we were chatting about it, from a really special smaller charity, Space and Broomhouse Hub. Good morning, Bridie.
Good morning. Good morning. Lovely to be with you.
And you too. Can you tell us about Broomhouse, the Space and Hub?
Fantastic to be sharing our story this morning. And I always say we're an overnight success in 30 years. Last year we opened a beautiful new hub. We'd worked with many organisations to raise 3 million to open a beautiful community hub. And of course then COVID hit. So we've not been able to do some of the things we'd hoped to have in there, such as a sense of a village hall and the events and everything. But instead, it's been never more needed, actually, as we've reached out to those we would normally support. We support people with dementia and older people in the community who are frail or who are isolated. We work with families, everything from a babe in arms, but with a lot of young people and their parents. And in the middle, we've got a beautiful cafe. So in recent times, that cafe became a place that was delivering hot food and food parcels every week across southwest Edinburgh with other charities too. We work in partnership with other people across the locality. 5,000 meals a week were going out at one stage in the peak of COVID. So I take my hat off this morning to my amazing team and my amazing volunteers and amazing community who've kept the doors open for those who most needed it in recent months.
Wow, because there really was nothing else for them. Was there a point where you thought that COVID's going to stop everything and you wouldn't be able to help these people?
Yes, well, we had to stop lots of things, meeting face to face, and move things either onto the telephone or online, using things like WhatsApp. But digital isn't for everybody. So, for example, the person with dementia was maybe scared to answer the phone. So we maybe started with a doorstep visit and delivering a little activity pack, or a birthday cake, if it was a birthday, and do a physical distancing and dropping off of a gift, and that maybe help build the trust to have that phone call. And for those who didn't have a device in the house, maybe a young person or a family, it'd be amazing how many houses do not have one, getting them a device that they participate still in groups that we do. For example, we do a lot of work with young carers, so making sure that they weren't digitally excluded and that they knew how to use it, so getting them a device that they could stay in touch. So pivoted loads of our services to be able to work from home, staff and volunteers working over the telephone or over the web and using video or WhatsApp or whatever. So we've been able to really stay in touch with people, and that has helped keep people sane. It's an amazing team. I take my hat off to them this morning.
Bridie, isn't it wonderful? We hear so many gloom and doom and things are tough, but surely the resilience of people and the kindness of people is what we're seeing, and you're exemplifying it in all our charities this morning.
I'm so moved by the stories I've just heard. I'm really humbled by the work at Who Cares, where you've got a young person getting involved in the walking. And our kitchen manager, her name is Lynn. She also took the risk of a bungee jump to support the walkers, and I did a walk, still did a long walk. But we would love to work with young people in the future to get them involved. But it's the kindness of our communities that have responded in recent months to work with Lynn. So, for example, the local garden has been providing vegetables for Lynn to cook as part of the meals that then go out to the community. Community resilience, and I suppose I say to people, don't be too intimidated. The Kiltwalk is for you, whatever size your charity is. If it's really small, get involved. They make it so easy for you to sign up. I love Kiltwalk. I think Tom Hunter's an incredibly inspiring person, and all the sponsors who are involved. So I just want to say, have a go. If you're a young person or you're in your community and you want to help your local charity, surely that's what we've heard with all the examples this morning. And so thank you to those who did that for us and who supported us.
Bridie, you should be in our marketing department. It's just so touching what you were saying and so inspiring. Bridie Ash Rowan, thank you very much for joining us from Edinburgh and doing amazing work there. And the final charity we're going to meet now is certainly no stranger to me and many of you watching, is Radio Clyde and West FM's Cash for Kids, which started nearly 40 years ago. You know, the radio station Glasgow had its own voice, a new voice, and it wanted to give something back and started Cash for Kids. Grace Riley. Grace, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me, Paul.
It's still very much needed, though, isn't it? Sadly, in
Yes.
2020, even without COVID, there's still too much poverty, children
Yes.
in the west of Scotland.
Yes, for Cash for Kids, we're a charity that support children living in poverty, and we help them access basic essentials like food, electricity, gas, and nappies, baby food. And during the pandemic, unfortunately, families were thrown further into poverty, which meant that this demand on our service was grown in vast quantities of families and children needing our support.
And your listeners and the people in the west of Scotland responded?
Yes, they did. We created an emergency appeal for us to grant out to families that were in most need at that time, and we were able to support over 9,000 children, raising over £327,000 to support those families, which is still, there's many families still in need just now, and the Kiltwalk has been a great lifeline for us to be able to raise funds to go towards our grants.
Well, the Glasgow Kiltwalk would have been a big event for Cash for Kids,
Yes.
for Clyde's Cash for Kids, but you used the virtual, which is what we wanted people to do. So
Yes.
you had a good representation in the Edinburgh, the big virtual. So how did that go for Cash for Kids?
For us, we were absolutely gutted when the Glasgow one was postponed. So when it was announced it was going virtual, it was music to our ears, because for us it allowed us to get our supporters involved with doing things virtually. And with so many people do different things, from cycles from Edinburgh to Dumbarton, teams from the NHS 24 taking part, which, as you can imagine, they're helping so many people across Scotland just now. So we were really well supported with the virtual Kiltwalk, and the money that was raised was fantastic, but the top up is absolutely phenomenal.
And how much did you raise?
So we raised over £10,000 in our teams and the individuals that took part in the virtual Kiltwalk, and with Sir Tom's 100% top up, the overall total was 20,734, I think.
Wow. So one of the highlights of Christmas is always the Radio Clyde Cash for Kids lunch. George Bow
Yes,
there.
yes.
What are you going to do this year? I think, are you going to adapt?
Yes, certainly. We couldn't miss out on the opportunity to do something virtual. So
Can you
watch
give us a
this
hint?
space.
Or watch the space. Can we get an exclusive here? Kiltwalk Live?
Sorry.
Okay. But you are adapting, and that's what everyone has to do. There's no
uh-huh.
point in saying what we can't do. It's what we can do now.
Yes.
Yeah?
And there's so many charities across Scotland, across the UK, that's affected by COVID-19, and the fundraising events cancelled, postponed, and we're all adapting to change our ways to fundraise in different ways, and the virtual Kiltwalk was one of them. So I think many charities are changing to try and raise money in different ways to help the people that need their support.
So thanks to you, thanks to your colleague Chris from
West
you used to call it
FM,
the
yes.
mighty 290, yeah, West FM.
West FM Cash
yeah.
for Kids, yeah. So they had people walk the Kiltwalk as well. So
Great.
he's here for some moral support in the background. But it's the first time we've actually seen each other in 6 months in person, because the social distance working from home. So it's nice to be here and be part of the
It's
Kiltwalk.
great for people's mental health, isn't it?
Yes.
Actually, to see each other. People,
Yes.
maybe Zoom calls are fine, but you miss.
Yeah, you miss the
meeting up with
interaction with
people. Yeah.
people.
Grace, thanks very much.
Thank
we look
you so
forward to
much,
seeing
Paul.
you at Kiltwalk
Thank you.
2021.
Thank you.
So there we are from Cash for Kids, and beforehand with Bridie. Bridie raised nearly £1,000, and that's doubled to £1,950. And she was saying, well, it's small, but really effective. Thanks to everyone of the charities we heard from. Two quick mentions then. We said, we love the fact that our sponsors also walk the walk. And a man who's done almost every one is Malcolm Buchanan, the chair of the Royal Bank of Scotland board here in Scotland. And Malcolm's got a quick message for us.
Hi everyone, Malcolm Buchanan from the Royal Bank of Scotland here. I hope you're enjoying the live event today, and I'm sorry that I can't be there in person. I just wanted to say a huge thank you to everybody across Scotland that, despite the challenges of COVID-19, has managed to take part in some really valuable fundraising for Kiltwalk and all the wonderful charities it supports. And for my colleagues at the Royal Bank, we've raised over £100,000, which, with the top-up from Sir Tom Hunter and the Hunter Foundation, has grown to a massive £200,000. So thanks again, everybody, for what you've done. I'm really looking forward to getting back out there, walking the Kiltwalk in the way that we've all grown to love over the last few years, and I hope to see you on the start line sometime in 2021. Thanks a lot. Bye.
You will indeed, Malcolm. We look forward to that. And they're with us again next year, which is great news, along with Arnold Clark. You know, we couldn't be luckier. The great people supporting the charities in Scotland. And that's the thing about Kiltwalk. You can walk for any charity. People still say to us, oh, who's it for? It's for any charity in Scotland. Johnson Carmichael, our gold sponsors, have been with us all the way since the start. And Gemma and her son, you may have seen them earlier in the year doing a virtual kilt walk. Gemma's got a wee message for you.
Hi, I'm Gemma Spears, and on behalf of Johnston Carmichael, I'd like to wish everybody a huge congratulations for their efforts this year on the virtual kilt walks. So many people taking on personal challenges for fantastic causes. And a huge thank you to Sir Tom Hunter for the 100% top up. What an amazing thing to do, and we're all truly grateful. Stay safe and well, everyone, and we hope to be walking with you next year.
Thanks, Gemma. We look forward to it. And also Trespass Clothing, who give us the gear during the year, the clothing for out and about. Not so much this year because we weren't there, but they've been with us all the way. Aldi, and look out for more with them as we go to 2021. And Bullet Express, who look after all the facilities for us as well. So there's one more thing to say, Eddie. We got the car earlier on, which we surprised James Donnelly with, but you've got something else.
Yeah, I think this year is really special for a lot of charities, Paul, and they need that little extra help. So as we couldn't give away all the cars that we wanted to, what we want to do this year is just give away a van or a people carrier to a charity that really needs it. I mean, at this time of year, a lot of charities, whether it's food charities, whether moving people around, they need that little extra help with transport. So we thought, I've got a few vans kicking around, I can maybe lend one for a year. So if I could ask James maybe to pick out who the winner's going to be.
We've got the charities in there. James, if you just put your hand in there and, yep, rumble around. Somebody's going to win a van or a minibus for the charity that's just about...
Erskine Hospital.
And it's...
Erskine Hospital.
Erskine Hospital is the winner. A great winner. Suzanne will take that from you there. Wow, Eddie, can't thank you enough, because all charities, we know it at Kiltwalk, and you help us with vans, and they're really necessary. Yeah. Thank you.
It is. Anything we can do to help.
Suzanne from Kiltwalk, just before we go, thanks, Eddie. Kiltwalk going to be back next year. You adapted this year. Our team have worked really, really hard, and they love it. They've gone the extra mile. How could we make it happen? Well, with the sponsors, the charities, with Sir Tom, it's been quite a year.
It's been such a year, and it's really been great to see everybody just rally together for the charities they care about so much, and we saw such variety, people out running, walking, cycling, swimming, and they really did embrace it, and we're so thankful for that, and we're so excited in advance to see what our wonderful charities are going to do with all those funds. So thank you, every single Kiltwalker.
And we're going to be back. Do we start the planning now for 2021?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, we definitely are. We've got loads of different plans in place, and the main thing is that we can get back together in 2021, because we miss every single Kiltwalker. We can't wait.
Great. And the help you get here, Arnold Clark live with Kiltwalk, Kimberly, Erin, Callum, the whole team.
It's just phenomenal. We really mean it. We can't do it without our sponsors, and Royal Bank of Scotland and Arnold Clark, you're just phenomenal. So thank you, everyone, for letting us do this today and telling the stories of the charities, which are just incredible. Thank you.
Great. Suzanne put it together from our point of view. We did a Facebook Live with Royal Bank from BT Murrayfield just a couple of weeks ago. Many of you will have seen it. Eddie was on it. Tom was on it. And look, at that point, I think we had 780,000 raised that morning. That went to 1.3 million for the Edinburgh Virtual, which Tom doubled to 2.6 million. It's what we all do with the money. It's not the amount, it's the effect it has. Thank you to everyone who joined us. Caroline Spears, Jeanette and Gavin from Who Cares Scotland. We heard from Bridie. Thank you so much from Space Hub, and also from Grace from Cash for Kids. Thanks to everyone here on Arnold Clark Live with Kiltwalk. We'll see you in 2021. Thank you for your Kiltwalk kindness.